Hey guys, John Eric here. Welcome to video number 1. This is the first step in your training. First of all, you've already filled out and signed a non-disclosure non-compete. I'm sure that you've signed many other forms as well. This is going to be a short video about how we get started, how we process our work, the main paperwork that we use every single day. This is our work order. So up here on the top, this is just our company name, our email address, our web address, a little bit of information about getting a discount for liking us on Facebook or using paying cash. This top section is highlighted in yellow because if we get really busy, we can ask a customer to fill out what's highlighted in yellow and then come back to them. I prefer that we fill it out for the client. You never know what their handwriting might look like. We're a service. We want to do as much as possible for the customer and not ask them to do anything. That's what they're paying us for. So in the top left you see registered owner, phone number, address, that's all self-explanatory, NVDL is Nevada driver's license number. Don't put any other state there, that's just for Nevada. Below that a social security number, date of birth. You only need one of these three. I prefer to get the Nevada license if they have it. If they don't, get the last four of the social and the date of birth, and their email address of course. Contact person name and phone, that's just if somebody's coming on that customer's behalf. We put their information there so we know who to call when the job is complete or if there's an issue. These are our three pricing sections here. These are our current prices as of December 4th, 2013. Prices are subject to change, so you don't need to memorize these prices. They will be changing occasionally. So don't worry about the exact prices. One of the most important parts of the form is right here. How did you hear about us? We want to know what drew a person over to us. So if we meet someone at the DMV, we want to know, was it a monster truck that drew your attention? Was it a Scion IQ? Was it a black Suburban? Was it one of the sign holders? And if so, put their initials there so we know who to give credit to. Were they a referral from Smog Busters? What day of the week it was. Every single day I put a new form out with a new day so we can keep track of what jobs happen and what days. In the center section here, year, make, model, last six of VIN, plate to transfer, plate surrender number. Well, it's simple. Year, make, and model of the vehicle, last six of the VIN. If they're transferring a plate, put the number here. If they're surrendering a plate, put the number here. Now that when I say surrender, it could be that they had some old plates from a trade-in, but they don't want to use them again and get new plates. You put the number there. There may or may not be credit available for the customer to transfer. But we have a service that is just surrendering plates. A lot of customers stop by because you do have to wait in line to surrender plates, and they hire us for that. One of the most important sections is here. This, we're going to start from the bottom and go up. It's got C, U, T, B, W, D, P, C. The first one is C for called. If you take a phone call from a customer and they wind up coming down, you'd put your initials here, the date and the time that you took the call. If you can remember, we don't notate every single call, but if you do remember, it's nice to know that they called and they spoke to whoever they spoke to. Upped, the U, that just means if you were the person that greeted the customer when they approached us at our store or at our DMV location, I want to know who initially had contact with that person. Now let's say the person who makes initial contact is busy at the moment and they just say hello, or maybe they get stuck with a transaction type that they're not familiar with. Well, they would turn that person, the T is for turn, to somebody else. If the person that got it turned to them still isn't able to book the job, they would turn it to someone else, and then we would know who booked the job. The B is for booked. Initials go here, date and time again. Now let's say the person who booked it is right in the middle of something else, or they're going into the DMV, or they're doing something else. They hand it off to a writer, which is what the W is for. A writer, everyone should be able to write, and all that means is you're the person responsible for filling out this form in its entirety, as well as other basic forms as well. I want to know when it's due, that's the D. And I want to know who promised them it was due that day, so that person's initials go here. I want to know the date and the time we promised them. So if you tell a customer, hey, we're going to have it ready today by 4 o'clock, you better put your initials here, the date here, and 4 p.m. here, so we know as we're processing all of our work, this one's got to be done by 4. That was the promise that was made. The P is for processed. That's the person who's inside the DMV getting the plates or whatever it is we're doing for the customer. I want to know who processed it, the date and the time. And then C is for who closed it. When I say closed it or completed it, that just means that I want to know who the last person was to touch it before the customer got it. Hope this is all making sense. We're going to come back over here to the left. I want to point this note out right here. It says complete all sections or forfeit your tips. If this form isn't complete, I will not pay you your tips. That's one of your incentives to make sure you do your job properly and correctly. So here is easy fee. This is what we booked the service for. Sometimes that's not determinable up front, so whoever does figure it out at what point in the job will have to write that in there. Plus the DMV fee equals total due. The deposit the customer left, whether it was check, cash, or credit card, write that amount here, equals the balance due. Balance paid. This is in red because this is very important. I want to know when there was a balance due and it got closed out and completed. I want to know how it was paid, cash, square, which is credit card, or check, and the technician's name who took that payment. Now we're going to go over this section next. Oops, here we go. I want to know, this is for customer payment. I want to know up front how they're paying. Did they leave us a cash deposit? If so, there's a dollar sign here, write in the amount. Did they leave us with a credit card voucher? If so, circle credit card voucher. You don't need to put anything here. If you circle check because they left us a check, write the check number here. If it's easy cash, meaning I'm going to pay cash for it and they're going to reimburse me, you put that amount of cash that went with the job here. An easy credit card. Any of my company credit cards that you use to process a job, the amount will have to be put there. We won't know that amount until after it comes back from the DMV. There will be a credit card receipt the DMV gives you with my name on it. Make sure that always stays stapled right up here to the back of this form. That is of the utmost importance. Now here, this is where we do all the calculating. The center section is designed to know what services, discounts, and things like that were applied. In the top left dollar sign, you see there's a bunch of dollar signs and plus symbols. So let's say, for example, they choose the $169 same-day service, which is our most popular. You put that here. If they like us on Facebook, we'll give them $10 off. Maybe we'll give them another $10 off if they pay cash. You would put right here where the minus is $20. And put for discount code FB/CASH. So I would know that $20 discount was applied because they liked us on Facebook right then, right there. Not a promise to do it later. And they also paid us cash. If there's a discount for cash, I expect to see this button checked right here that says cash front, meaning they paid us cash on the front end for the service. If they're paying with credit card, circle the type of credit card that it is. We do take American Express, but the DMV does not. Check mark square, the job amount, and the tip amount. We'll go over tips later. The job amount, let's say it was $169 and they left a $30 tip. You'd write $169 here and $30 here. I want the last four of the credit card here. The receipt number here, which we'll go over in another video, how to process credit cards, the date and the time of the transactions. That's very, very important. Now let's come down here. This is if there's something that's pending with the job. So if we have all the paperwork except for, let's say they don't have a smog check, you would check pending, put your initials here, and check smog. When the smog comes in, you would check mark this, meaning we've got the smog now, and the initials of who took the phone call or who took the smog certificate in, so we know that it's ready to go. If they're going to be picking the job up from our location, it says pick up at 76. You would check this box so we know when the job is complete it needs to be taken to our store. Or if it's being delivered to their home or office, you check the delivery box, and you would certainly see a delivery fee checked here for $40. Now, did you sell screws in the front end? Yes or no? If you did, click check yes, initial it. Did you call the customer upon completion? Yes or no, initials. Was it turned? If it was, from who to who to who, and was it sold? Yes or no? Now we're going to have a whole video on these forms right here, but I'm going to go over this just real quickly. OOSREG stands for out-of-state registration. There's a list of all the documents required for that type of transaction. And we have a whole video on just out-of-state registrations. Temporary moving permits, title and registration, out-of-state purchase, DRS, renewal, and change of address. Some people hire us just to do change of address. So that's all for now. Make sure you write legibly. Make sure you fill it out completely because I want to get you guys your tips. But if you don't do your job, I'm not going to reward you with your tips. So fill it out correctly the first time. That saves us a mountain of time down the road.